Hey everyone, and hey Houseland. This is Radley Valentine, and no, this is not a tarot deck. This is a pendulum. And the reason that it is a pendulum is because today we're talking about my forthcoming book, the Compendium of Magical Things, and it comes out December 4th, so it's just around the corner. In fact, I am holding in my hands my first actual copy of the book, which I just got, so I am super excited to finally have it in my hands. I can turn to pages, I can show you stuff. I'm super cool, super excited about it. So the Compendium of Magical Things is all about giving you all kinds of alternative ways to talk to the divine. Continues my work on trying to take the fear out of spirituality and also to make it easy to take, because so many of these different ways of speaking to heaven, spirit, God, the universe, you pick your word, I don't care, are complicated. And so my two things that I like to do is take the fear out of them, but also to make them easy to use. And there's probably nothing quite so easy to use as a pendulum. And yet, sometimes pendulums get relegated to the sort of the status of a parlor game. People know a lot about pendulums from the standpoint of determining the sex of a baby at a party or something like that. But there is so much more to it. Pendulums might very much appeal to you from the standpoint if you want something that's really easy to use and easy to learn. If you would like to be able to discreetly and frequently check in with the divine on something, if you have this desire to be able to access your subconscious thoughts just anytime you want, then this is a really super great way to get that information. These things are pretty magical and pretty powerful and pretty ancient, as old as tarot cards or runes are. Pendulums are older. This is a very ancient way of communicating with the divine. Now, there's tons and tons and tons of questions out there about how do pendulums work, and is my hand just ever so slightly imperceptibly reacting to cause the pendulum to move? Well, most experts on the pendulum would say, yeah, it is. But you know what? That's not a big surprise. I mean, when you stop and think about it, no matter which of the languages of the divine we're using, whether it's runes, a pendulum, tarot cards, no matter which one it is, our hands are being manipulated. Our energy is being moved by the part of the sparkle of the divine that is within us. And so it makes perfect sense, of course, that we would have this opportunity and this way of connecting where our bodies resonate. Do you know singing bowls? Are you familiar with singing bowls? Well, they resonate. And so our bodies are resonating as well, in order to be able to give us answers to the divine. Now, if you're not familiar with pendulums, they are super cool. So let me tell you why they're cool, and let me tell you where there might be some limits to what they can tell you. So, hey everybody. Well, hello. So good to see you guys. So a pendulum has a tendency to operate in the following ways. It tends to answer the following questions: yes, no, I don't know, and answer not available. Now, those last two you might be wondering about that. We'll get there in just 1 second. But the way a pendulum can answer your questions is it might move back and forth in front of you. It might move back and forth away from you. It might move in a clockwise method. It might move in a counterclockwise method, or it just might stubbornly refuse to move at all. And then there's logic to that, I promise. Total logic. There's total logic. So Well, I said before that most of the questions that pendulums answer are yes, no, I don't know, or answer not available. So for me, not for you, but for me, yes, no is back and forth in front of me. No, yeah, no, I'm sorry, that was yes. No is back and forth away from me. I don't know is a counterclockwise circle. And answer not available, it just won't move. It just sits there, just like that. And so there's reasons for why that it does that. So there's a couple of ways of figuring out which way a pendulum works for you. The best way, I think, is to ask it. And so once you have a pendulum, and we'll talk about getting pendulums in a moment, but once you have one, you can just say, show me yes, no. Just show me yes, no. And the pendulum will start to move. Well, actually, show me yes. I'm doing that over and over. I'm sorry. Show me yes. And then you can stop it and say, show me no. And then you can ask it, okay, show me I don't know. And then you can say, show me answer not available. Now, the other way that you can do it is you can actually program your pendulum if that's the way you want to handle it. And so you can tell your pendulum, this is yes, no. Pendulum, I'm sorry, yes. Why do I keep doing that? Pendulum, this is yes. Pendulum, this is no. So Christy's saying yes for me is clockwise. See, so it's different for everybody. So you have to check. Now, getting a pendulum. Let's talk about getting a pendulum. Well, you know what? I like the crystal ones because I like the energy that comes from them. They come in an exhausting array of different possibilities, shapes, colors, forms, different kinds of crystals. But seriously, all you have to do is to hang, I mean, you can hang a paper clip on the end of a thread and you have a pendulum. It's as easy as that. So it's very simple. It's very easy. So a lot of different people, though, sometimes pendemulists, say that 3 times fast, have different pendulums for different topics. They might have a different pendulum for finding lost things, for which they are great at. They might have a pendulum for getting answers to very serious questions, and they have a different one for each time. Okay, so Sarah says, I had a teacher that said, really, anything dangly works. So that is true, and I have not used the word dangly maybe ever, and so that is my new favorite word, dangly. So if you're just joining us, I am Radley Valentine, and I am here because my new book, The Compendium of Magical Things, is about to come out. It comes out December 4th. But you still have a couple of weeks left. That's all. There's just 2 weeks left in this launch period. That's it, just 2 weeks. And so if you want to grab this book and get a bunch of free stuff, your time is running out. So there is a link on my Facebook page, in my bio on Instagram, in this video, that will take you to a page where you can get over $120 worth of free stuff, a free 3-part video series from me on talking to the divine, meditation on getting clear and concise information when you're doing this kind of work. All of this stuff, you can get all this free stuff if you just go pre-order the book. So your opportunities for doing that are getting limited because we're running out of time before the launch period is over. So go grab it. So I thought it would be fun if we did some readings. So keep in mind that pendulums really don't like questions unless they can answer them in yes, no, okay? Or I don't know. So don't ask a question like, should I move to Chicago or should I move to Los Angeles? Because it's going to confuse it. And it's just going to basically give you the answer of the answer's not available. So if you have a question like that, the question we would ask is, first we would say, should I move to Chicago? And should I move to Los Angeles? And if both answers are yes, then the whole, what you would do is kind of look at how vibrant the pendulum is swinging. Is it swinging more for Chicago than Los Angeles, or is it swinging the same, which basically means yay. So Margie's saying, hey, Riley, how you doing? I am doing great. My book is about to come out, and I'm working on my next deck, and you know what? Life just couldn't be great. So greater. So let's see. Nadine says, I feel something positive is coming toward, no, I feel something is coming towards me. Is it positive? So let's find out for Nadine what we get here. So we're just going to still the pendulum. So that is a yes. For me, left and right is yes. And you'll notice that the pendulum is picking up energy, that it's really starting to move more frantically in a yes position. So that's really great, because that basically means for you, Nadine, that's not just a yes, it is a very positive yes, a very positive yes. Now, there was a question, and I had compassion for it, so I wanted to ask it. Oh, do you love my pendulum? Thank you. I really like it. I've had it a long time. Julie is asking, will I get my grandson to care for? And that's a question that I just have compassion for. So I just want to see what we get. So again, this is also a yes. And a fairly serious yes. I mean, that's swinging pretty vibrantly. So yes, the answer to that would be yes. So let's see. Cheryl is asking, should I move on from this relationship that I am in? Okay, let's see. So, Cheryl, I would say it's not quite time to move on just yet. We're getting a no to this question, and because we're getting a no to this question, it's sort of reminding me of tarot. And this can happen when you work with languages of the divine. Working with one methodology, one mode, can create a situation where you are mentally or emotionally reminded of another modality. And there's a card in tarot, two of water, otherwise known as Two of Cups, two of all kinds of things. But that particular card says that that the relationship can be saved, and that it's not the right time to make that particular action. So it's not a good time for you right this moment to walk away from this relationship. So I would give it a little bit more time. So Margie is asking, my fiancés are terrible. Will they improve? Oh, I think she means finances. Because otherwise she has multiple fiancés. So I'm going to presume that she means finances. So will they get better? Will they get better? So this is really interesting, because generally for me, a pendulum does not move in a clockwise mode. This is very different for me. This doesn't normally happen. And so the way I'm taking this is the way I do anything that has to do with working with the divine. I'm listening to my intuition. And because clockwise is moving forward in time, it is in the fullness of time, then I would say that yes, your finances are going to get better in the fullness of time. But it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to take a little bit more time, and see how it's starting to even move faster and faster. So what I think is that what you're going to see intuitively is that in 2019, things are going to start to get better for you. And then as they start to get better, they will start to get better faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And so that is what I think that this particular answer to this question means. So for those of you who are just joining us, hey, 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 I am Radley Valentine. I am here to talk about the Compendium of Magical Things, my newest book that is coming out December 4th. I'm super excited about it. We have been doing a launch promotion for this book to give you tons and tons of free stuff, over $120 worth of free stuff, but that promotion is about to come to an end. There's only 2 weeks left. And so if you would like to get a whole bunch of free stuff, like a 3-part video series on talking to the divine, an audio meditation on how to communicate with the divine in a way that is specific and direct and gives you answers that are easy to understand. You could hear my interview from the last Hay House World Summit on how to have a magical life. All of these things are options. They're free for you if you just pre-order the book, and there's a link in this video, as well as on my Facebook page and on my Instagram bio. So all of these are possibilities. So people ask, okay, so Radley, what is the Compendium of Magical Things? Why did you write it? And I wrote the Compendium of Magical Things basically because I wanted to continue the work that I had started with angel tarot cards and then followed up with everything else that I have written so far, which was to take the fear out of spirituality, but also to make it easy. And so some of there's all different kinds of methods of speaking to the divine in here. There are runes, pendulums, angel cards, the Lenormand, the I Ching, and some of these things are just very complicated if you don't get it broken down for you. And so I have done the work for you. I have had the migraines on your behalf. Not really, but oh my God, the I Ching headache. You know, by figuring out how to make these things easy for you, how to make them work in such a way that that it's just uplifting. And the thing about it is that, sure, maybe angel cards work for you, maybe they don't. But there's so many different ways. And one of the things that I learned in researching this book is that some of these ways complement each other in such a beautiful way. I could do a reading with the runes and then do a reading with the I Ching and have the messages be exactly, specifically the same. And I want you to have that experience. I want you to have the experience of the joy, the happiness, the unbelievable love that comes from communicating with your angels or your fairies or the divine or God or whatever word you want to use or whatever methodology you want to use, and to have that that love in your life and that happiness in your life. So let's do a few more readings with the pendulum because we're almost out of time. Hay House gives me like 20 minutes on this stuff, so almost. So Andre is saying, will I get that promotion at my workplace in due time? So sorry about my dogs, but my dogs like the answer. So that was a really rapid yes, Andre. You will get that promotion in due time. And this is a pretty emphatic, yeah, that's a pretty emphatic yes. Pretty emphatic yes. So Susie is asking, will we be approved for the dog rescue pending? Oh, sweetheart. You have no idea how poignant that question is to me today of all days. You could ask Kyle Gray, he knows. So that is a very poignant question for me, for you. And so first of all, what I'm going to suggest is that I want you to think about asking Archangel Ariel to be with you on this particular topic, because Archangel Ariel is the archangel of nature and of animals. And so I want you to sort of keep that in mind and to work with her as this happens. And so we're going to take a deep breath. Okay. I know. All right, Susie. Okay. So here we go. I've got angel bumps. That's what I call them. Hi, Riley. Susie wants to know if she's going to get that doggy adoption. So will you be here with me for this? So I've got Riley, my little girl, and Jace, my little boy. They're right here. Oh, do you want to see? Do you want to see? Come here. Come here. Oh. This is our little girl that we adopted through Colorado Shelter Rescue. Okay, Susie. All right, here we go, girl. Riley's sneezing. So that's a yes, Susie. That's a yes. See, and Susie says, my other dogs are going crazy barking. See? It's meant to be. So I love that that's the way we ended today with something that is so dear to my heart and means so much to me personally. So I love Shelties. Me too. That's all I've had since 1986. So I'm Radley Valentine. Again, you guys, we've been here. We've been doing readings, answering questions with the pendulums, talking about the Compendium of Magical Things. Check it out. $120 worth of free stuff. What's the best place to buy a pendulum? Any metaphysical store. Go online. Any mass marketer of things is going to have amazing and incredible pendulums, or just put a paper clip on the end of a string. That'll work too. I'm Radley Valentine. Thanks, Susie. I really appreciate that. It really meant a lot to me. And I'm Radley Valentine. So check it out. Compendium of Magical Things. Bye, guys. Love you all.